I'm going to read your quote, a little background here. You're quoting Maximus Decimus Meridius, played by Russell Crowe. The movie, of course, is Gladiator, 2000 epic historical drama film directed by Ridley Scott. Very, very interesting. Russell Crowe, I never know how to pronounce his name, Joaquin Phoenix, Connie Nielsen, Oliver Reed, Derek Jacobi, and Richard Harris. Maximus is a Roman general who was betrayed when Commodus, the ambitious son of Emperor Marcus, you're really making me learn my vocabulary here, Darryl, murders his father and seizes the throne, and we'll just leave then he's reduced to a gladiator. Here is the quote. 3 weeks from now, I will be harvesting my crops. Imagine where you will be, and it will be so. Oh, Darryl, that's an interesting quote. What has it got to do with our topic? Go.
With AI, we're envisioning things that have never been done before. So you really have to look into the future and be very innovative and creative of how you're going to conceptualize, but integrate and also sell a new technology to customers. So having that dream and innovation and kind of creating that storyline to customers really drives what AI can do and what you can do for your customers and even consumers to help their lives and
Thank
their
you
day to
very
day.
much. I like that. I might be harvesting a tomato crop in 3 weeks. It's possible. They haven't come up out of the ground yet. Don, you can smile now. It's okay. We're good. Okay, let's go to Tim's quote. Tim has picked a quote from Doc Emmett Brown, played by Christopher Lloyd. This is the third part of the franchise, Back to the Future, Part 3, 1990. Tim, they call it a sci-fi Western film. I didn't know why it was Western. Directed by Robert Zemeckis. Interestingly enough, Doc Brown, played by Christopher Lloyd, was loosely inspired by Leopold Stokowski and Albert Einstein. This continues following immediately after part two, which was in 1989. And I added to the quote, Tim, because there's a little more that was in the clip. So forgive me here. Your future hasn't been written yet. No one's has. Your future is whatever you make it, so make it a good one. Tim, words to the wise. Where'd you find this one?
Hey, I mean, I found it from the movie. I used to love that movie and the going back to the future, seeing what's possible and well, going forward as well. But when we look at AI, I mean, it's allowing us to do things that we never thought were possible. Even in this talk with buildings, how we're sculpting them, how we're architecting them. So it's, the future belongs to us, and you just have to make it a good one,
I
put
like
it
that.
together. So.
Yep, I like that. Are you all very positive about AI? I always have a rule of thumb on the philosophy of this show, which is no AI doom and gloom, no pessimism, no OMG, it's going to take this and take that and destroy this and burn that. We're looking at opportunities, we're looking at possibilities. I think I might have to introduce the word, Don, of inevitabilities. Do you think of where it's going? What do you think? Because you're working
Oh,
with
for
AI.
sure. For sure.
Yep. Okay. I'll have to change that in my instruction to people and never any politics. We know that. So there you go. I really need to do a show on what's powering AI because I think we all just take it for granted. You click on an app and something happens and something's doing it behind the scene. We really don't know what's powering it, but that's a whole other topic. So guess what? Now is the time we're going to go on our world tour. Don, the share button is yours. Just click share and screen, whatever you want to do. And you're going to take us to the Shanghai Tower, the 3D printed house in Paris, and the Edge in Amsterdam. So, Don, it's all yours. Tell us what this has to, why you picked these three and how AI is involved. Oh, beautiful. Go ahead.
And you're seeing the building, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So the first one is the Shanghai Tower, as you said. This is kind of interesting in that the architects, Gensler, basically had this idea that they're going to invert the landscape. So, in other words, take what would be normally horizontal and make it implement it on a vertical plane. And obviously, this is a very futuristic building, and in one of the sort of hallmarks of the skyline of Shanghai. And I thought it was really cool.
And
So
how is AI used in the, is it part of the construction process? It looks like there's a lot of risk there, Don, with that sharp edge we're looking at on the right-hand picture. That looks like it's probably a feat of imagination. What do you think?
Well, AI predicted that it actually is at risk and it's probably going to fall over pretty soon. I'm kidding, of course.
Excuse me.
Um,
I was taking a sip of water and you almost did damage here. Go ahead.
I mean, AI is involved in a lot of different things here. Design optimization,
Yeah.
the energy systems, just like almost every building we're going to talk about will have the energy systems impacted by AI, as well as the ongoing building management. The two other things are the overall construction process was definitely using AI-powered tools to guide that, as are most large vertical construction projects these days. And then the other thing is they lean very heavily into the user experience inside the building, which we're going to revisit in a second with the third one I talk about as well.
Okay, interesting. Do you have any idea how long, or do you have the facts on how long it took to build this, and how high is it? Could we get some stats here?
I don't. I'm sorry.
Okay.
I guess I have come ill prepared with
No,
facts.
you haven't. No, you haven't. It's gorgeous. We will find those stats and we will look them up. It's very interesting. Go ahead. What's your next building?
Okay, the next building is almost as tall.
Okay. Oh, be still
Um,
my heart. Go ahead.
But this is a 3D printed house in France, and as it turns out, there's a bunch of 3D printed houses in France, and a growing number, elsewhere. And I guess the main point about this is that this medium for building is very, very interesting to architects because the shape of the house, a lot 3D printing allows for the shape of the house to be far different than what normal construction would naturally lend itself to. So you can see in this one that you're dealing with something that arguably is very futuristic, but you can design them also in terms of other capabilities that you want inside the house as well. So everything from the way that energy is optimized to the personality you put into it, the automation you put into it, but fundamentally the structure itself is, an AI generated 3D printed house, and
Mm,
it's almost unimaginable to think. And as a side note, I don't know if anybody's ever seen what the 3D printer looks like when you print a house.
no.
You don't put it in the trunk of your car. I'll put it that way. But it's pretty amazing, and it is a sign of where some of these things are going. And I actually have a friend who's on the board of a company that does 3D printing, and he was showing me a video of the process, and it is just amazing. But a heavy, heavy component of AI in here.
Don, could you possibly get this person to come on the show and we'll do a future episode on what a 3D printer looks like for an AI printed house? What do you
I
think?
can I can certainly talk to him.
That would be great.
He's an advisor.
I just want to get some reactions. Don, I'm going to go around the table. Don first. Would you live in this house?
I probably would.
Okay. Do you think there are any windows on the back? Because all I see is glass in the middle and we can't see the back of the printed.
There's a window in the back.
Is there a window
On
in
the
the back?
right-hand side to the front glass, there's that
Yeah.
round window on that side.
Okay.
Yeah.
Tim, would you live in this house?
I would live in it as a vacation home at the lake. So, in the
Okay.
winter.
Imagine what storms would look like. Darryl, would you live in this house?
100%. I think that you're going to get a lot of sustainability and efficiency from the customization of the design and planning to some of Don's points of the utility side of things.
And I wonder if AI would design the furnishings. Interesting. I
Why
wonder
not?
how smart the house is, the appliances, the efficiency, what the chairs look like, what the bed looks like. Oh my goodness gracious. Don, I have some statistics for you here before we move on to your third site. The Shanghai Tower is 2,074 feet high, which is 632 meters. It's 128 stories in the Luzhaizai Finance and Trade Zone of Shanghai in China. It was completed in 2015, officially opened to the public the following year. It's one of the world's tallest buildings that can accommodate 16,000 people. How's that, Don?
That looks right. I think that checks out.
I'm glad. I try to I try to do my fact checking
Yeah, no,
factually.
it's an amazing building. By the way, you just demonstrated one more use of AI in that
Yes.
process. So very good.
Oh, thank you very much, sir. Don and I've known
The
each other for years. We can joke like this. Okay.
the third one is probably in some ways the most advanced, or
Yes.
at least they would tell you it's the most advanced, but with maybe with good reason. It's called the Edge, and it's in Amsterdam. And what's interesting is there's actually some very cool, very modern looking buildings in Amsterdam. There's one that people refer to as the Boot that really just looks like a big glass boot. Um, but it's juxtaposed against, buildings that have been around for centuries and a landscape of the city that is so rich in terms of history. So that's this interesting juxtaposition. But this building in particular is refer and actually let me back up. I think the marketing people around this building did a great job because when you research this, you hear a lot of people saying almost exactly the same thing about it, which is generally the world's greenest office space and the smartest office. And that you'll find that from multiple sources. So they're clearly on message with how they're talking about this. But um, the energy management, the space optimization, the use of predictive maintenance, personalized environment, as you can kind of see, I tried to get a shot outside and inside here so you can get an idea of what the look and feel of the building is. But there's just so much data around this. And this is where I'm going to just go off on a very short side tangent. So
Sure.
there's a great company I work with in Barcelona called Futurity, and they do some. They're basically futurist, and they're using agentic AI to, in essence, predict future in the context of certain sort of swim lanes, if you will. So if you're like a corporate innovation office or whatever, and you're trying to figure out, well, where are we headed? This would be a tool to help facilitate that process. It's super, super cool. But I was giving a TED talk the week before last on urban innovation, and I talked to the founder of Futurity the day before, and he goes, "Well, we've got all of this work we've been doing in smart cities. I'd like to send you our deck. Maybe you might want to use something from it." And he sent me his deck, and I swear to God, I used one slide, and it was so cool and future looking. And as I said in the talk, it was the least complex forward looking slide in the entire deck. Like the whole deck was mind blowing. But the point I'm making here is that it's all about the underlying data. So where this goes in these advances and the snowball effect of the advances are a function of the combinatorial elements underneath that are collectively working together. So like I remember when you and I were talking, I want to say about a year and a half to 2 years ago,
Hmm.
you were kind of first getting into Chat GPT, and everybody was amazed at the power of the early versions of Chat GPT. And
Yes.
fast forward just less than 2 years, the the evolution of AI and the use of agentic AI and the power behind some of these capabilities, both with LLMs and small models and how they can work together is just unbelievable. And I go take this all the way back to the building now. This building is the beneficiary of a lot of that technology, and it's probably only getting smarter. And then the last thing I'll say is that in the context of resilience, smart cities are resilient because they continue to learn. But if
Hmm.
you think about it, it's not just the people learning. Sometimes we people are the slowest to learn, but our buildings are learning about how they operate on a day over day basis and adapting. Our landscape and our environment, based on what we're able to do by way of instrumentation, is learning about itself and how to adapt. And I think that I love this discussion about this building because it points out what is a broader um, view of how we exist as a society and how we're evolving and moving forward.
Thank you very much, Don. Very interesting. Stop sharing so we can go back, please. And we're going to get ready for
Sure.
Darryl to share. Just hit the stop share button at the top somewhere. There we go. Okay, let me go to gallery view here. That was very, very interesting. And I appreciate the way you picked your buildings, such a variety. I'm going to read a little bit about the Edge. It was, as you said, it was considered the greenest and smartest building in the world, 28,000 sensors. connected to a network that not only coordinates the logistics of the building and the people, how it collects and analyzes data on community behavior. The British rating agency BREEAM awarded the building a record sustainability score of 98.4%, the highest ever given. Okay? I put that in the chat for you. Very, very interesting. Thank you, Don. I can't wait for that building to be in a movie. Can you see a thriller where somebody is chasing somebody in and out of, I don't know what the elevators look like and what the parapets look like and whether there's any inside or things that you could climb on. And I'm just imagining all the thrillers
I
I've
think it
seen.
might be robots chasing robots through the
You know
building.
what? Somebody's going to write that movie any minute now. Thank you very much. Okay, Darryl, the share is available. Why don't you go ahead and start sharing your buildings? We're ready for you.
All right, thank you.
Hmm.
Can you see my screen?
We sure can. Coors Field, go ahead.
So I'll talk more conceptually about what's just happening and what I've seen in the sporting and entertainment industry.
Sure.
But Coors Field, I grew up in Aurora, Colorado, and it's one of my favorite stadiums. A lot of newer baseball stadiums are modeled after Coors Field. And then you get when you sit on the top view, you get to sit at a line marker with purple seats that indicate mile high. So you're sitting up at a mile high. But you get the view of the Rockies, and in certain aspects, you also get views of downtown Denver. And I wish the Rockies were better, but it's a great stadium for baseball overall. But what I've seen in AI evolution and for entertainment purposes are helping customers get a better experience. I think the Clippers Stadium, which I probably should use that as a primary example, has thousands of sensors included embedded into the seats. So you get indications about your volume in your row or area, and participants, people at the event can get prizes, free food. So it's really there to encourage, that home court advantage. You're also getting information around lines. You ever go to a venue or event or concert and you're having to wait in line? They're providing information through applications, a mobile app on where you can go to get the quickest lines. And one thing that I've seen a lot in stadiums, even at Coors Field, is the camera systems based off like the Amazon shopping centers, convenience stores, where you present a credit card, debit card. It's using that information on top of facial recognition and computer vision to monitor what you're grabbing and taking out of the fridge or shelves. And you walk right out. So you're getting validated in the beginning. There's no assistant like taking your at a register. There's someone helping you get in and making sure you have a good experience and picking out. But it's a fully automated experience where fans just go in, they grab, and then they walk out. So those are some of the evolutions I've seen in the sporting industry. One thing I will say I saw online for football stadiums is for unruly fans. They're using computers in a virtual team, not fully AI, to identify and track down and then escort out fans that are unruly. They want to create a safe environment that's fun. It's a family experience. So they are using different innovations to make that possible.
Very interesting. Any comments from Don or Tim? Anything? Have either one of you ever been to Coors Field in Denver? Nope.
I have.
Okay. Darryl, very, very, it's gorgeous, by the way. It's absolutely beautiful. Yeah. Wow. Okay. Next one. What do you got?
So Sky Harbor Airport. So one thing I will note is a lot of these are existing infrastructures where AI is being implemented upon the existing infrastructure. It's not starting from scratch. But something I really cherish about the Phoenix Airport is its ease of getting in and out. I'm not someone that typically likes to go to an airport 2 hours before as recommended. That has backfired on me, so it's not always perfect. Don't listen to my advice. But what I do like is that outside the easy convenience of getting in and out, I can look online and seeing the wait times at the security line. So at Terminal 4, which is the biggest terminal, there's 4 checkpoints to get in. And knowing kind of if I'm flying from American or Southwest on that day, I kind of know which gates checkpoint I should get in. But I'll always look as I'm taking my ride share which gate to go to and which door to go to, so I can actually know and predict where I want to be and create enough time to make my flights. And so that's using computer vision AI to monitor of the wait time and flow of travelers getting through lines, which creates efficiencies. Phoenix is also known and voted for one of the most friendliest airports. And one thing they added was being able to create reservations to also get in line. And then they've also suited out different sensor technology from cameras. I've seen Denver Airport using LiDAR, where they're understanding the human experience and behavior at airports, from dining to restaurants to lounging. How are people actually spending their time at airports, and how do they give you that ultimate experience? From retailing, where people, buying the most goods. So it's really giving you an overall experience so that people, one, the airports can promote when you're coming in or passing through on a connecting flight, what to experience there. But it allows customers and travelers to really get an ultimate experience, especially for those that are going to be spending a couple hours before their flights. You need something to do to pass time, especially if you have children. Just sitting in a chair or going to a lounge can be boring. So how do you really optimize that experience for customers? And the one thing that I would like to see the city of Phoenix do during their peak times is how to optimize traffic. Sometimes it can be very congested, and I think there's certain solutions that can help mitigate and manage and optimize that congestion.
Darryl, the key word I heard in addition to this gorgeous picture is experience. And I'm realizing that by me titling this episode, The Future of Construction, Innovation, and I think we're talking about human experience with construction and AI. You both, you and Don so far, and I know Tim will, taken it way past how is the building built and what does it look like? And Don, where are the sensors? What is the point? The point is that people are living there, people are visiting there, people are traveling there. That's what we're coming up with. So I think I need to retitle this The Future of Urban Construction and Urban Experience and AI. I need to make it much broader because that's what we're finding. This is a gorgeous picture. Uh, Don or Tim, either one of you ever been to Phoenix Sky Harbor Airport? Tim, what was
Oh
your
yeah,
experience like? Tim first and then Don. What was it like?
it was great. I mean, I like Phoenix Airport. It's busy, but you get around pretty easily. And I do think Darryl, you should be a spokesperson for them. You
Thank
hit the
you.
key parts of it.
Really nicely done, Darryl. Don, you been here?
Yeah, yeah, agree. It's a good airport, and not all airports are good. So, um, some obvious examples right now. But yeah, for sure, it's a nice airport.
Well, I'll tell you, I lived in Eugene, Oregon for many years, way, way back in the day. I don't even know if Darryl was born then. Tim, maybe. I'm not sure. Don, you were. Yeah. Anyway, never mind. We had two gates, and you were either with gate one or gate two. And there was a lovely. I'll call him a little man. He was about 5'5", 5'6". I'm 5'1", so he was. Never mind. He was the one who put the stairway down on the plane when it arrived. He's the one who took the garbage off the plane. He's the one who used the flags to tell the pilot when to go out on the runway and leave the airport. He's the one who flagged the planes in. He's the one who cleaned the seats. And he was, I don't know how many years he had the job, but it was basically run by this one man who was employed by something. And and if it was raining, he would come out with an umbrella and pass it to the passengers. It rained all the time in Eugene. I won't tell you some of the nasty jokes about that, what we put petroleum jelly instead of never mind. Anyway, the point was that was my experience living in Eugene. It was just a two gate airport, and that was it. But it was a hub for that part of the country, and it did just fine. So everything has really changed. Darryl, this is fabulous. How often do you fly through there, Darryl, or go?
Almost twice a month. I've been in Denver helping out from a family incident, but I'm out of Phoenix, so at least twice a month at minimum.
Well, I'm glad you picked this one. It's beautiful. Next one, Darryl, go ahead.
And so, right before I do that, I want to
Yeah.
point out on the human-centric focus. So,
Yes.
Don made a really good point that there's always a human element to AI. Nothing is planned or designed in implementing AI, from smart cities or smart airports, or airports are basically cities, but within a city, but because they're so big and have massive crowds coming through day to day and through a week and a whole year, they're creating their own innovation. And then you look at kind of the incidents from New York and other, FCC challenge or FAA challenges with traffic controllers. Like, the whole system is going to be revamped over the next decade. So it's not just like the customer experience. You're talking about baggage,
Mhm.
traffic control. But what I wanted to mention is a lot of this AI is about creating that experience that it has to benefit the end consumer. If it doesn't give them some type of actionable insights or make their lives or give them a convenience, it's not really going to be great AI. So I just want to tie in kind of that human centric and human experience element and how they come hand to hand.
Thank you. Very appreciated. Okay, third building. What you got?
So the last one I visited last year was the rooftop lounge called PhD Terrace at the Dream Hotel Midtown. I honestly selected it because I just can't forget the views, especially at nighttime of all of Manhattan looking north. This is kind of in downtown New York. But hotels in general are creating better experiences for their travelers or business people or events. So from checking in, I'm a Bonvoy Marriott member, and I don't really necessarily have to check in now. I can just go directly through my app, connect on Bluetooth, and walk to my room. But they're leveraging this data to give you a better experience. So I get custom information about my travels upcoming, recommendations for restaurants, places to go for coffee. They're really creating that unique experience based off my personal data, I might say. So I will go in and update my profile. It knows I like to stay closer to the elevator. My room's kind of already set and booked for me there. I think that also comes with the membership perks. But from what I do know from like a computer vision side of standpoint, they are setting up cameras to monitor how people are utilizing their lounges and areas. And that goes into concept and design and planning. You want to create space that are friendly and opening to people, but you need to kind of learn. And so instead of using like human observation, they're collecting data over time to understand like, are people actually sitting in these couches? Are they, if we put a TV here, are they engaging? If we have the news or sport event, are people actually sitting there and waiting? And so leveraging different kinds of data within that customer experience tailors to individuals and families so that they get the best optimal time as they're in their stay.
Thank you very much. Have you been here, Don?
I'm trying to remember if I have or not. Where in Midtown is that, Darryl?
Uh, it's it's just I can't tell you the exact streets, but it's pretty much 2 blocks
It is
east
the
of
Hyatt,
the
355 West 16th Street, New York
thank you,
City.
yeah,
Okay.
of 16th Street.
I don't know. It's a rooftop in New York, and they all kind of that. No, I won't say they all look alike because obviously this has been, you know, updated in a really cool way. But
Oh, wait a minute. I'm sorry. This is the Midtown. This is 210 West 55th Street. I apologize. The one in
two,
that was the downtown one. The Dream New York Midtown is 210 West 55th. I
I
apologize.
have not been at that.
Okay.
Cool though.
Very, very cool. Darryl, what's your favorite view? Is there a favorite window you like to sit near to look out, or do you walk around like in the Space Needle? It doesn't turn. I know that.
No, I mean, you just walk out from the lounge area here, it turns into like a nightclub at night, and you can walk the patio. So, I mean, any window is a great view, because at night you just get the whole lit up skyline of New York. Obviously, you could go to like Empire State Building, but this is just one that you can kind of see the whole entire Manhattan landscape from its rooftop that I like.
Thank you very much. Tim, you been here?
I have not.
Okay. Well, this is something on our travel list there. Darryl, thank you very much. You stop sharing. There we go. And Tim, you're up. Let's see what you got.
See my screen, okay.
There we go. Thank you. Go ahead. Plenty
All
of
right.
time.
So I actually have a degree in architectural drafting and design, so I
Oh,
really liked what this podcast was about. Uh,
good.
so when we think about construction and the future of it, Dubai's Museum of the Future immediately pops out in my head. It's very complex. It has the facades, over 1,000 fire retardant panels, and all this was created by using AI. So those intricate details, all having it, the build plan, 3D modeling. So AI by doing everything with figuring out the complex shapes, the panels. So it's just stunning. I sit here and stare at it, but these are pushing the boundaries of building architecture and things that we never thought were possible. Um, so yeah, that's the Museum of the Future in Dubai, which is somewhere I would love to go.
Okay, let's take a look at that. Explore interactive exhibits.
There's
People of
actually a
all ages
hotel in
come.
it too.
Yeah, I'm looking. Journey to the Future. I'm trying to get a site here to give us some of the dimensions here. Museum of the Future. What was
About
people of all ages? Book
over 5,000 metric tons of structural steel in it.
225 feet tall. The building. Okay, here we
It
go.
was done by Killa Designs and then
Architectural
engineered.
engineering marvel confidently straddles the past and the future, applying advanced technology to traditional art forms. I'm looking at some more pictures here. It is absolutely gorgeous. Opens a new pathway from the high-rise towers that dominate skylines everywhere. It is just magnificent. The facade is a canvas for the quotes of His Highness. We'll leave that one alone. Rendered in the calligraphy of Mitar bin Lahej. I hope I'm saying that right. Circular building represents humanity. The green mound it sits atop represents the earth. The void represents the unknown future. There you go. The museum was designed by Killa, Killa Design Architects, engineered by Burrow Happold Engineering Consultancy. Tim, stop me anytime. The museum's facade is made out of stainless steel and consists of 1,024 pieces manufactured by a specialized robot-assisted process, covering a
Here's a
total, yep, covering a total
here's a
surface area of 17,000 square meters. Go ahead, Tim.
One interesting thing, they had to build a new BIM model. It was a growth algorithm, a new parametric design to model the building for this new BIM modeling system. So
It's 77 meters, 225 feet tall, occupies an overall area capacity of 30,548 M2. What's an M2? Lowercase m2. Do we know that?
metric squared,
Good.
Meter?
meter squared.
Meter square, probably. Yeah. Wow. Don or Darryl, have you been there?
No.
Have not.
Okay. Well, that's on somebody's list.
Uh,
Tim, what's
Funny
your
thing,
next?
I was showing my
Yeah.
wife this,
Yeah.
and she said, "Was that picture done by AI?" I said, "No, it's a real building." I actually had to show her additional pictures, but it's just magnificent.
It's
And
gorgeous.
this is how AI is pushing those boundaries, right?
Love it. The artistic approach to it, the use of calligraphy, that in itself is something to wrap your head around. Tim, what's your next building? Go ahead.
Next is not a building, it's sites.
Okay.
Singapore is one of the leaders in using video vision and camera analytics. So switching gears, they take a really practical approach, high tech to building essentials. Their public housing projects, they're going up all the time, and they have cameras all over the place. What's cool is it's directly tied to safety, is how they're widely using AI video analytics. You can spot cameras all over. The AI systems are looking at live feeds. They're flagging potential dangers. Even they'll notice, okay, a lift is coming, there's concrete, and then it will create a safety zone around it in the video analytics system. So then if somebody comes and tries to pass through that, it will flag and notify for that. So when we look at how, like a prediction too, that we've discussed using AI in real-time info, actively stopping accidents before they happen. And that's like what safety view is all about. So it's pretty impressive. They have a little over 1.2 million dwelling units.
Wow.
And
Wow.
they've been under construction. It's had 82,320 residential units under construction in March of 24. So,
Tim, is this being done anywhere else? This type of a vast project like this? Replicated?
I mean, Singapore builds a lot of flats. So it's a lot of units going up. I mean, we see video vision. I mean, even with what Daryl's doing with his company, is video vision is starting to to become big, especially being powered by AI. It makes it more efficient, um, makes it quicker, allows us to keep people safer. So, yeah.
Thank you. Don, any comments? Darryl, any comments? Back to Tim on this.
I mean, I second everything Tim is saying. I think that, we're seeing how this is unfolding in Singapore as a precursor to what we'll probably see all over the place.
Thank
Correct.
you. Darryl?
I'll add, I think the biggest concern in the US with computer vision AI is privacy. London, there's cameras everywhere. They're starting to use that for AI. China, Singapore, Japan. But the US, you'll see cameras, like I mentioned, airports, you'll see them everywhere. Office buildings for smart buildings. I think the challenge in the US is how do you get cameras in the infrastructure and public right away to be able to provide for applications for construction. Roadway safety is really key. Over 600 people die on our roads every year from construction, or even police and fire departments when they're at a scene. So this technology is needed. It's how do you do it with cost, but also keeping people's privacy in mind.
I like to say the horse has already gotten out of the barn door. It is too late to close it. But I had a show I did for SAP years ago called The Future of Cars and Game Changers with Cars, something like that, way before we were talking about AI. And the question was, who owns the data that's being transmitted from the car, from any systems in the car? Is it the manufacturer? Is it the person who leases it to you? Is it the owner of the car? Is it the passenger? Is it the data systems owner? Who owns our data? That's a whole different topic. But thank you for bringing that up. Very interesting, Tim. Let's go to your third one.
And the third is London's Crossrail, known as the
Oh,
Elizabeth Line. Um,
oh,
you're looking at the huge new stations and miles of tunnels. The sheer scale is massive. There's complicated underground railways under busy city streets, crazy amounts of data, coordinating different jobs across many sites all at once. And AI machine learning were vital, not just in the design and scheduling, but in predicting risk, keeping people safe, especially in tough spots and tunneling them. Um, it really shows how AI helps us with complex construction challenges, safety, efficiency, and it's managing the huge connected ecosystems, which fits into smart construction sites and making workflows better, and cut down on risks. So.
I've got some information here. Let's see. Considered the largest infrastructure project in Europe. It covers a total distance of 100 kilometers. One of yours, 73 miles, 73 miles, and 100 kilometers plus railway unites areas in the east of West and London with 10 new stations, 31 station upgrades, and 42 kilometers of tunnels under the capital. It opened in May of 2022. There you go. Fascinating. Have you been there, Tim?
I have not. I've just seen pictures. So
We need to
um,
get you all in airports and trains and get you to do some live reporting, people on the street here. Don, have you
when we
been there?
talk about data, though,
Yeah, go
Uh,
ahead. Go ahead, Tim.
I've been to London probably 100 times, but I haven't in the last few years. And last time I was there, there was a bunch of stuff under construction, but there kind of always was. But it was still most of my time there was primarily between 2002 and 2010, and then a pretty good amount after. But the idea of what this represents, I mean, I can't wait to go back and see it because the rail system in London, up to and including the entire tube system, was just it had been around forever, and I liked it. It worked well, but this is really, really interesting, and I'm sure it's great.
Sure it is. Tim, you wanted to say something, please. I'm
well,
sorry
I was
about
saying
that.
the amount of data that was consumed on there, because we were talking about data a minute ago, was there's 500,000 drawings for the project and over 5 million documents that were produced out of it, and AI going through and going through the documents, doing analysis was key in a lot of this. So,
Very interesting. Darryl, have you been there?
No, but I'm going to have to use my flight points to travel to all these destinations.
I just put a little bit about that into the chat for all of you. We've got 7 minutes left. How would we like to use them? I don't want to go through individual predictions. I think we've covered a lot of the opportunities. That's what we're here for, talking about the opportunities, the optimism, the benefits, the advantages of AI in various processes. Darryl so well pointed out it's not just the construction, it's the experience. It's what it does for us as human beings. Are we using the airport lounge? Are we using the railway system? Are we going to the airport? Do we want to go to a museum? Are we observing art, calligraphy from a bygone era used as part of a design? There's so much that AI is giving us the opportunity to enjoy, to use, to appreciate, to try, right? So let's just close with a statement from each of you. Take about a minute and a half. I'm looking at the clock here, and then I'll put the outro music on. Don, overall, what's your favorite thing? I'm just going to reduce this to favorite thing because I'm not sure how you want to position this. Your favorite comment, your favorite thing about how AI is helping with, and I'll use the broad term, construction innovation that led to this topic today, that led you to pick the three sites you shared with us. What's your favorite benefit or optimism about it? Go ahead, Don.
I think the resilience of the buildings and by extension the overall infrastructure and how that contributes to ultimately a better world and a better, society, hopefully. But the resilience that's a function of the continual learning and ongoing adaptation is a function of how AI, along with the data and instrumentation, work together.
Thank you very much. Okay, let's go to Darryl. What do you think?
I think we're still in the very early stages of AI. I think more will come, but it's rapidly growing and changing. I think the challenge is how do more people adopt it? I survey my friends, a lot of them that aren't in tech, aren't utilizing Genesis or any generative AI like OpenAI. So I think we still have a lot of education to the public, but businesses, I tell my friends, if you're not using AI, be prepared to be the next Circuit City or Blockbuster.
There you go. We used to call those tech laggards. Darryl, what is that beautiful vision we're seeing behind you? What is that drawing?
It's one of our sites in LA where we're doing a smart campus solutions for advancing mobility to help UCLA advance their campus for the 2028 Olympic Games. So it's kind of this our what we set up to monitor traffic and pedestrians, e-scooters, and cyclists. One thing that the university has seen is more e-scooters,
Hmm.
and they don't ride them like they should. Going wrong way, zigzagging in and out of traffic. So how do you really understand behaviors of humans and then design and plan from that? Because we associate risk like near misses, but
Hmm.
you can't have a human out there observing that 24/7. So this data automatically compiles it. What we're trying to do is advance using like generative AI, advance the actual insights for our customers.
They've seen
So
too many videos of bike messengers in Manhattan. That's what they've seen, and how to jockey in and out. Yes, I was once able to drive down I don't know which main road in New York City years ago and beat all the traffic lights. You just have to time it. I think it was like 22 miles an hour, and you just ride. And you just wait, you just get under before that yellow light comes on. And that was a straight line. That was really, really, my daughter was impressed long ago and far away. Thank you, Darryl. Tim, what's your closing remark? I can give you about a minute and a half, 2 minutes. Go ahead.
Uh, with all the advancements with AI, I mean, obviously privacy, we got to monitor PI and make sure everything's safe and to the public. But what AI is doing is it's making things that we never thought were possible. You look at, sci-fi movies and stuff like that, and some of the uniqueness and the shapes and design and architecture, keeping people safe. I mean, that's possible because of the efficiencies with AI, the how fast it can operate and spit out quantitative results. And it helps us dream bigger. I mean, it see where the possibilities can go while always maintaining that healthy optimism on it, but also seeing what boundaries we can push as a civilization, society.
AI helps us dream bigger. I like that. That's a good tagline. That's a good,
Hey, Mark.
positive. I, I'm going to give you credit, but I think I'm going to adopt that. Let me read a little poem for the end, and then we're going to close out. And stick around. I have something to ask all of you. So here we go. As AI steers us through loops, not lines, and waste turns to wonder by smart designs, the road ahead glows green and bright, fueled by insight, vision, and data's light. Thank you to futurists Don, Darryl, and Tim who painted what's next, from circular goals to even more complex. With Bonnie D on her Scarlett mic, you heard here today. The future is in motion. It's rising in front of us, and it's coming our way. So, guests, I want to thank you all. Don't go away, but I want you all get ready to shake your finger. Tim and Don and Darryl, shake your finger. People say the future is already here, and on a count of three, join me in saying no, no, no. The future is already here, and we say 1, 2, 3. No,
No, no,
no,
No, no,
no.
no.
It's right in front of us. It's coming. It's happening. It's being built, and there you go. But it's not here yet because we're going to dream better and bigger. Right, Tim? There we go. So let me put on the music here, and then we will close out. And don't go away. Here we go.
Are you tired of hearing the future is already here? We are too. That may have been yesterday's future, but today's future hasn't happened yet. Take a deep breath, tune out the hype, the noise, and turn up the volume. Savvy, art of the possible technology visionaries talking about how today's innovations right now are shaping every aspect of our real future. We'll laser focus our spotlight on buzzworthy tech like artificial intelligence, machine learning, Internet of Things, augmented reality, and lots more. Clear your calendar and open your mind for Technology Revolution, the future of now, with the most upbeat host on global radio, Bonnie D. Graham. Listen anywhere, anytime, on any device.
There we go. I pulled that out from 7 years ago. That was recorded too, and I still love it. I want to thank so much Don DeLoach. Always wonderful. Don, your microphone was the best you have ever had on my show. You are crystal clear today. Whatever you did, thank you.
Wow.
Darryl Keeton, you're a wonder of intelligence and of vision and all of that. So much information. Thank you so much. Tim Wolter, always a pleasure. Same thing. Your three of you just brought so much to the show. And I want to thank you for picking such interesting buildings and sites with your stories. And I hope you didn't mind that I pulled up some of the factoids on that. Wave goodbye to social.